Welcome, Black Hollywood Live fans. On today's Fit Club, we talk cannabis, charcoal, and pumping iron. Stay tuned for more.
You're tuned into Black Hollywood Live, Fit Club.
Hey, what's up, guys? We are back. Had a little bit of a hiatus, but we are back. Again, my name is Shaka Smith, your host, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host.
What's up? My name is T.K. Trinidad. That's it.
And that's it. That's Trinidad. No tagline here.
No,
the Soca Queen.
The Soca Queen.
I saw you on Sunday in Hollywood Massive. How was that?
Wow, Carnival was lit. God, for you guys who are joining who have no idea what Carnival is, there's a brief history. There's like 78 carnivals worldwide. Trinidad, Brazil, Toronto, Miami, London, Germany, St. Lucia, carnivals all over the world. There was one in Hollywood Boulevard on Saturday. A lot of celebrities were there. Got lit, got tipsy, wore a costume.
Yeah, we always
see all that.
We always see that that Rihanna is always doing carnival.
Barbados,
yeah, we always see her elaborate.
So I'm trying to go to
costumes.
Barbados this year, so we'll see.
So were you wearing some elaborate costumes?
Did you not see the Instagram?
Well, for the people out there listening,
Go on my
I saw the elaborate.
Go on my Instagram. It was crazy.
So I feel like
two-piece all over the place.
You're not allowed to like even use the word thirst trap in regards to me anymore now that you kind of like set you set the bar now.
First off, I wasn't in my bathroom playing the slow music, panning down on my stomach. I was on Hollywood Boulevard with a bunch of other people wearing a two-piece, dancing and then getting lost in the music.
Still trying to determine which is better. Still trying to determine.
There's no better or worse. I just know that I was a thirst trapping like you thirst trap. Where can they find you thirst trapping?
Shaka Strong always. But but that's in my free time, and there's very little of that these days. We got some great stories.
All right.
First up, cannabis. I know in California we've been inundated with like the latest and greatest on cannabis and the medical uses, but they did find. The FDA, interestingly enough, finally approved the first cannabis-based drug. It uses CBD, which is I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but cannabidiol. And that is one of the 80 active compounds in cannabis, but not one that gives you the high. It's not associated with the high.
Right.
It's been approved for epilepsy, like 2 types of early onset childhood epilepsy, which is great because these kids are suffering. And I didn't realize, but about 1/3 of epileptics don't respond to therapy. So this is a great way to kind of maybe fill that.
It feels like there's a lot of stuff that cannabis like takes care of. Like what's her name? Petty Patty. She, I think I know what I'm talking. She's the one who called the cops on the 8-year-old girl.
I think it was Permit Patty,
Permit
but
Patty.
I like Petty Patty better.
Petty Patty. Permit Patty. She's the one who called the cops on the 8-year-old girl. However, she owns a company. The company was a cannabis dog company.
Yeah.
So there was cannabis for dogs. I was reading an article last week where there's cannabis for kids who like ADD.
Yeah.
So it seems like cannabis can do a lot of things, and there are highs and lows that like this is what I'm discovering from folks. But I wonder how this is going to affect the insurance company, one, and then doctors who prescribe pills.
Well, interesting to know. Well, it's still gonna go through that same process because it's not. I forget which company is coming out with Epidiolex is the name of the actual drug, Epidiolex. Not sure which company's coming out with it, but they did not reveal the prices yet, and they said they're going to be working with insurance. Wow. And I'm hoping it's not going to be something exorbitant, and we have like another case of the guy that kind of jacked up the price on the HIV drug.
Which is going to happen. It won't be crazy, but it's going to be, gone are the days where you can buy, $10 bag, a dime from your weed dealer on the corner. Now you're paying $50 for some pills.
Well, but I think people will probably go back to the corner of that. But if they're finding, if they're finding some actual use from it, but they don't want to pay these high prices, so I do think the prices will have to kind of reflect what the market is, because I think a lot of people can get stuff recreationally,
right.
And there's a lot of CBD over-the-counter products as well.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be. For something that makes sense and can help a lot of people, or some people.
Yeah.
Some people take to it, some people don't, whatever your beliefs are. This could be definitely pimped in the wrong way, where now, you're only allowed a certain amount, but you can, you're going to grow more because you can make money on, under the table, but then that's going to get you in trouble. So it seems like this is going to be a whole new world of things.
I'm hoping the recreational market kind of like is a check on the insurers here, because, the recreational market's been doing a lot of studies on their own. So hopefully that'll
hopefully
be
but
what
probably
happens.
not, because this is America.
Yeah, right. But it is kind of interesting in this administration because there's been sort of like I guess with Jeff Sessions, a public war on marijuana, but at the same time they kind of balanced it with this FDA approval. And beyond that, they can also study this drug for other uses, for other medical uses. So that's the great part about it. It might help something else in a vastly different way. We know Viagra started off, I think, as a heart condition drug, and then of course it became what it became. So maybe there's
Well, I mean, I'm definitely pro for this because it's well, hopefully it'll be mostly plant-based, like after they kind of create the pills or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely here for that versus something that's, you know, man-made and all that stuff. So,
I think it opens up a little bit more study to CBD and the benefits of marijuana. It's one of 80 active compounds, so there's 79 other compounds we don't even study because we don't really have the ability to because it's not legal on the federal level.
Right.
So. But yeah, let's excited about that. Next story, activated charcoal, which is kind of hand in hand with this one because I think we are told all these things about detoxing and different drugs and what they do, and then we kind of just run and flock to them. But activated charcoal is not as good as they say it is. Have you used charcoal? Charcoal lemonade. Like, I mean, I bought charcoal lemonade.
I saw the toothpaste stuff. That just kind of looks gross.
And I've been doing that on my teeth for my teeth.
Of course you have. I saw toothpaste stuff, but then somebody was telling me with the there's this. It's like for everything that is supposedly good for you, it could be bad for you. So I had somebody tell me, because I've been buying the Tom's toothpaste, because, you know, I'm just trying to, you know, I eat healthy, you know, and you want everything else. So I buy
like
less products on other stuff.
Yeah.
And he was telling me that the fluoride in the toothpaste like affects your perineum, and then it destroys other things.
Wait, your pineal gland. Your perineum is another part of the body.
Oh, so it affects all that stuff, and I'm just like, you can't do good. Like it just doesn't. So I mean, I wasn't bringing charcoal on your teeth. I mean, your teeth do look white and glistening, so I guess that helps. But why not just go to a dentist? But whatever. But I don't know. Like I'm just not. It's like when they said butter was bad, everybody said to go to margarine. Then they said margarine was bad, and then everyone went to butter. So it's just like everything is just. Yeah,
I've gotten that fluoride argument. I've been sort of just like, well, it's too many things to pay attention to. I just need to manage my life right now. But I got some free charcoal powder, so I said, go ahead and use it. I found it has been very whitening, but I didn't know that the claims of detoxification do not ring as true. So apparently, the history of charcoal is that they use it when they're trying to detox you of poisons, if you overdose or something like that, because it will bind to medications and alcohol and different drugs and keep it from being absorbed, and then that's why you expel those things. But that people extrapolated that to mean it now has some detoxifying effect for the body, and there are 4 reasons it actually does it, and 4 reasons not to use activated charcoal. The first is that it does bind to vitamins, antioxidants in food. So if you're taking that specialty shot from one of those juice bars with activated charcoal, the other nutrients that are in there to induce you to buy it, it's not going to be absorbed.
That's the same with supplements too, like the multivitamins.
Oh yeah, sometimes you so overdose and then the pee comes out super yellow, so you can absorb it all. It also binds to medication, specifically antidepressants and anti-inflammatories, which, of course, if you're taking antidepressants, you want to get the full benefit of those.
Yeah, we don't want a Kanye situation.
Yeah, no, not at all. Number 3 was that it binds with the... it actually slows down your bowel movements and causes nausea, so that's not great either. And it actually binds with the food that you have in your stomach at the time. So you can, I was taking activated charcoal as hangover remedies at times as well. Because I mean that product came out.
Why are you drinking so much?
I wasn't. I was drinking a little bit, but I wasn't drinking a lot. Just that someone gave me these pills and said, "Hey, these are great detox, activated charcoal." I've been hearing the name everywhere, so I took them. But apparently, it only works if you do it at the time you're drinking, because it's got to be in your system.
I feel like I've been talking to several people who actually meditate on a regular basis, and I feel like those people who meditate, all the additional stuff like the charcoal and all this other stuff, and then the people who meditate tend to be vegan, which we both are. Well, more you than me. But I feel like you don't need all that other additional stuff, meaning that if the charcoal for the toothpaste was in your daily routine, then great. But if you took toothpaste that you bought at the Ralph's for $3.99, it wouldn't necessarily affect your body, because when you meditate, you're in one with your body that stuff is going to expel. I feel like anything that affects your body is the stress in combination with the bad stuff that makes disease and all this other stuff happen. Because I don't know too many people who are like that, who are that zen, that fall ill.
Are you meditating now?
I'm starting to meditate, yeah.
We got to bring in someone who does meditation. I think they have the transcendental meditation, which has been very popular for a while as well.
Yeah, it just seems like it's life. I mean, LA is a little bit different than everywhere else, but it just seems like life gets stressful. You add kids, you add family, and all this other stuff. And if you take some time to actually meditate, then that might provide a little bit more clarity. And I also heard that it also helps for your memory. So I heard, people who are pregnant, they have the baby brain. When they have after the kids are just running their lives. So if you take a little bit of that time, then the sickness, which is most likely caused from stress, is either going to slow down or you're going to realize it before it's too late.
And we do know that stress has definite proven physiological effects on the body from cortisol and different hormones that are released when you're stressed. So of course, if you are taking some time to reduce your overall stress daily, it should have actually a great physical benefit as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's activated charcoal. That it's just so interesting to me because we have all these trends to come out, and that was one of the trends I bought into. I wasn't taking it now, but I would have taken it again in the future.
But don't you when you see that trend? Then don't you feel like don't you question it though?
A little bit. This one's been out for a while though. Activated charcoal has been like maybe a thing for about 8 to 10 years
Every time I see
now.
those Instagram posts and I see the girl, it's just like, no, I'm not. That's not. You're not gonna get me on that.
Well, yeah.
one.
I mean, I always check myself because I remember at some point drinking gold and lead and stuff. These were the things.
Gold mask.
Yeah.
The 24 karat mask. That's another thing.
But back in the day, you were supposed to drink gold and that would help you, and all these harmful things. So. Might even give you some arsenic, and that might help you with your tremors. But yeah, so I do question the new fads because I think we as humans have a tendency to kind of run into fads, sell it, the song and dance guy, and we just kind of make it a thing. But that one was one I was surprised to find out was not even really close to being true.
I think they do use charcoal in Lush. They have a black scrub soap. Yeah. And I think they use it for that. But again, I take that all with a grain of salt. I tend to err towards things that are a little bit more natural.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not. I mean, if you drink enough water, then your skin will be great too. So you don't have to buy $500 worth of product.
Yeah, and I think it just came from the when there's a nugget of truth, I think that's what really reels you in. Mm-hmm. So we knew that it does actually is used by the medical community when people overdose. So it just makes sense. Oh, it's clearly a detoxifying agent. But now
from somebody who's a non-doctor, I bet, who started the trend.
Exactly.
But it is what it is.
Hey, they made their money. But the next topic is milk. As a transitioning vegan, I
haven't drank milk in years.
Yeah, and that was one of the things I haven't drank. I didn't even really drink before I was vegan that much, and certainly zero afterwards. And I would have it in my shakes and my casein and making sure I had the slow-acting proteins. So for me, it was a big deal as to what kind of milk I would kind of go to when I was having my protein shakes. Did you wrestle with that? What did you use to supplement?
As a kid, we have milk in bags for some of you guys who don't know.
Milk in bags?
Yeah, in Canada. They have bagged milks. It's bags and you have little things. So that's a thing. So we started with 2%, then I went to 1%, then I went to skim milk. And then I think I was on fat-free for a long time. And I knew it was watered down milk. And then I went to almond milk. And that's pretty much what I do on and off. But I haven't done milk in years. It's just, I think I can't remember what I saw, but I remember there was something the cows don't even drink they're after they've become grown, they don't drink milk. So it's why are we drinking milk from cows who their kids don't drink their milk? It doesn't
it doesn't make logical sense, that's for sure. And me personally, I do cashew milk. That wasn't part of this. I think it's one of the newer milks out there.
It seems like I'm sensing a trend with you.
Yeah, well, I like to be at the cutting edge, the cutting edge, whether or not it's right or not at the time. But
we'll see you with that third arm in 20 years.
As long as it's functional. So the big difference here is comparing the milk. So cow's milk we know is high in protein, and typically it's fortified with different vitamins, vitamin D, B12,
and I think K or something.
Yeah, calcium, potassium. So when you're looking for these, if you want a similar profile, soy is going to be your closest. For about 8 ounces of cow's milk, you get about 8 grams of protein. For 8 ounces of soy milk, you get about 7 to 12 grams of protein. So you're still in that good protein ratio. And it's got about 80 to 100 calories, which is about the same amount as reduced fat milk. And usually, if you get it, you can find it fortified with calcium and vitamin D and B12. But those are the things you want to look for. As vegans, we don't typically get a lot of B12 in our diets.
No.
So you do want to look for things that are fortified with vitamin B12. And the same thing, I guess, really for hemp, almond, and rice protein. They're going to offer some different profiles, but rice is going to be high in carbohydrates, something you might want to have right before or after a workout.
Quinoa, too, is pretty good.
Yeah, quinoa's I don't know, have you had quinoa milk? Is there quinoa milk?
I haven't quinoa milk, but if you're looking for the protein bump, then quinoa is pretty good.
And it's got a nice little carbohydrate profile, too. And then the almond milk is going to have a lot of heart healthy fats, which are great. No protein, so you're going to have to supplement with protein there, maybe using quinoa. And then hemp has got some great omega-3 fats, but again, no protein. So you can actually utilize them, I guess, based on your level of activity and what you want and what you're going to do, but you do want to make sure you know what's in your different milks and how they can be efficacious.
Yeah, I think the whole thing with the protein, it's slowly changing, I think, as far as, you know, the high protein diets and stuff like that. But I think with the protein, it's just the same thing with Gatorade. Like, you don't really need Gatorade if you're going to be in the gym for less than an hour.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. And I think the amount of protein that a lot of health folks were telling us at one period of time, we don't need all that protein, especially if you work at 9 to 5 and you work out maybe 1 to 2 days a week.
Yeah, I mean, for me, what I realized, a lot of that stuff trickles down from the bodybuilding world. Same thing with, I guess, the activated charcoal, where it came out of the medical community, but it got turned into something different because it had a different application. I think that happens a lot, where, yes, you need to be getting your protein quickly after this workout, but it's quickly after like a bodybuilder's workout who's like destroyed his muscles and lifted as heavy as he possibly could lift. So I think a lot of that gets distilled down to us.
You
And we're
on
like,
the treadmill for 20 minutes watching an episode of Seinfeld.
You don't need to run and grab your protein shake to make sure you're not burning
necessary.
through
Eat
your
healthy,
muscle.
but don't you know, grab a big piece of chicken breast or something. So.
And so I think the important part of this story is really just pay attention to what the substitutions mean for you, and as you transition, if you're transitioning to be vegan, you might want to look for different protein sources, or make sure that it is fortified with vitamin B12 and calcium. But what they did say in this particular study was that you shouldn't switch to a vegan milk until after 2 years old. So the child should either be on cow's milk, breastfed, or formula until 2.
Yeah.
And so I was just thinking, well, definitely don't want my kid on cow's milk, so I guess he'll have to breastfeed and I don't want him on formula. I want my kid will have to breastfeed till 2 years
Whoever
old.
This woman is, she just has to know she's going to be breastfeeding.
2 years. Yeah.
Well, I know a lot of women who they pump and they save that and then they breastfeed when they get home. But I also heard that breastfeeding is like, it's great in one way, but it's also not that great in another way for the woman. Yeah. So, I mean, and also have somebody, you know, on your teeth for 2 years, biting.
It does burn a lot of calories, so, you know.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Help with the workout.
We'll see about that. But yeah, I know. The cow's milk, I'm not really for, because on top of that too, if you've ever tasted cow's milk directly from a cow, it tastes totally different than the milk that we get in stores.
Yeah,
so I mean, in theory, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I wouldn't necessarily mind if it was from like the cow that I have in my backyard.
Yeah.
But if it's from the store, then I'm not about that life.
Yeah, because you don't really just the whole the food supply chain. There's so many things that are going on.
If you taste chicken that we have here versus chicken that like is actually like directly from the chicken, like your uncle killed it in the backyard, they fried it up, and now you're eating it. 2 totally different chickens. Yeah. So I mean, again, once you actually taste the difference, then you're actually gonna see how, you know, the extra stuff in there is not needed.
Yeah, not really great for us. Oh, and one of the new milks they were talking about was pea protein, which I've been.
I've heard about that. You've tested
okay,
it
of course, I've tested pea protein. Yes. The pea protein milk was tasty, and I find pea protein is less grainy. I guess it's a very smooth consistency, and that one to me tastes, cashew and pea to me taste the most like milk.
See, yeah, I'm not looking for all that. I think for me, when I use almond milk, I just use it as it's a secondary to what I'm trying to do. So if it's cereal, like I really want the cereal. Yeah. So it's just more like, I'm not gonna put juice in there. I just want something that simulates the milk. And then if it's a shake, then it really just doesn't matter, because it's really about like the fruit and the powder that I put in. It's just the
base.
It's just using it as a binding. So I guess it's what you're doing. Like, I haven't actually had a glass of milk.
I've had like the tall glass of chocolate cashew milk. Well, I like it because it kind of makes me feel like I'm cheating. I'm being, I'm getting in my dessert somehow.
Yeah, no, it's not.
That doesn't count as
about that life. Yeah, no.
Not our last story, but another story, music and tempo, which I love because it's like from the journal of things we already knew, but we decided to confirm. The more up tempo your music, the more you're going to work out a little bit longer. Yeah. They found that people that worked out with no music versus people that worked out with up tempo music were able to work out 1 minute longer, which over the course of your lifetime, and certainly over the course of just getting more endurance, does make a difference.
I mean, soca music, again, going back to carnival, for you guys who don't know, soca music is like, if you don't know, it's kind of like reggae, but a different Caribbean music. That's what got me through my marathon. Like I played soca music for 6 hours.
6 hours of soca.
6 hours of soca. My ears were ringing as if I just came from the club. But that was the only thing that kept me going because like I know people who can just run and they're listening to podcasts. Like I can't do that.
Fall asleep.
So the beat actually keeps me going. Like I've noticed that if I'm listening to R&B, then I'm not running as fast. Like my tempo slows down. So I listen to soca music to keep me on beat. That even if my mile time is slower, it's not going to be as slow as if I'm running to like R&B music. So that to me makes a lot of sense.
I'm just shocked that you weren't listening to this podcast instead while you were running for
Negative.
6 hours. No, not. Well, if any of you are out there running for 6 hours or any amount of hours listening to this podcast during your workout, we'd like to hear from you guys. We are on iTunes. We'd love for you guys to like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments and let us know you've been there.
Sure.
And let us know if you're listening to it during your workout. I'd love to hear if people are actually running.
I love this show, but if you listen to your workout, then I don't know.
Yeah, well, I try to be motivating. We try to kind of push people, so hopefully.
I'm motivating too. Like I love, again, I've referenced him several times, and along with the show, E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher. Like I love motivational stuff, and he also has an album, but that album's not like I don't want to. Like I guess I just want to hear debauchery and fast music. Like that's I just want to hear like some stuff that like okay this is what's happening and then like keep moving. So
and of course for this study, whatever music is up tempo for you is what's going to work the best.
Right.
So,
Yeah. I know some people. I know some people do like rock music and stuff like that. And I know there are up tempo stuff. And again, you just whatever like works for you. But for me, soca music I think is like 100. I might get the beats wrong, but it's one of the highest like per beat selection of music on top of everything else.
So you're just like heart rate constant.
Well, I think because I'm a sprinter too.
Yeah. So
it's like as quick as possible. Like let's get this done. So
nice. And then of course our last story, pumping iron can lead you to living longer. They did a great study where they found out that those who actually did strength training lived about 46% longer, and actually after they actually kind of corrected for some variables, they found out with 19% overall, and they lived longer from all causes of death, which I think people don't think about in terms of pumping iron, because we're not just talking about cardio or working out. We're talking about lifting weights, resistance training into your 80s and 90s. And they also found that people that started in their 80s and 50s had the same results in terms of gaining the muscle back they were trying to put on.
I mean, I think it doesn't necessarily have to be pumping iron. Like body weight is a huge thing that so many people can't even lift their own body weight. Like I when I have kids, I'm definitely coming from the school of thought like be able to do like 20 pull-ups on your own with your body weight before you even touch weights, because that will help you even more in the long run. I think if you can't do a squat, you can't do a pull-up, you can't do kind of the basic stuff like sit up, walk upstairs, like all that stuff is involving your muscles. So once you get past to that, then definitely look into lifting weights. But lifting heavy weights, as you know, being a trainer is not necessary. It's just doing something. Yeah,
and in this study, when they talked about resistance, they referred to body weight exercises as well, and even yoga poses as well. So you don't.
God, yoga.
If you're thinking you need to be like Arnold, no, you don't have to go to be Arnold and lift in the gym.
Pilates is great. Even pole dancing is another one. It was absolutely crazy. Because I went to pole dancing, my arms were so sore because you're holding your body weight. When you're doing the fireman spin, you're holding your body weight.
Where was this?
This was in Toronto. I definitely actually have to put that on my to-do list for my birth season, but pole dancing is on the list for my birth season.
So you're on some cutting edge trends there too yourself.
I'm not putting charcoal on my teeth. It's not happening.
You won't try it?
No, I mean it takes me for a TV show that's super popular. I won't watch because of the industry I'm in now. I'll watch it, but before being in this industry, I won't watch it. Like I want to wait until it's died down, then I'll watch it because I don't want to be part of the hype. One, on top of that, too, with a lot of the trends, you don't really know.
You want time for the public to flesh it out before
you don't know what's gonna happen, right? Like you might have the upcome and benefit from it before it becomes super expensive or whatever. Or it might be a downfall and now you've just affected generations of your lineage because of trusting that. But go ahead and test it though.
Yeah, no, for me it was like LASIK. I need someone to have had it for 20 years before I get LASIK.
You just or like it's all that stuff, and then now like everybody there's some type of switch that goes off, and now you all become zombies, and I'm there just chilling.
Well, hopefully that's not the result of my activated charcoal use. But yeah, that's it for stories today. A nice little spate of stories. Do we have anything out of celebrity news?
I mean, just celebrities looking fantastic on the beach. So you have Gabrielle Union. She looks amazing with her two-piece.
I wonder if that was like a little subtle, not dig, but hey Jada, I can also be the hot one too.
Well,
they made up.
They made up.
But Jada's known for being the older.
Jada hasn't posted pictures in a while.
Bikini.
Jada's mom though.
Yeah, Jada's mom. Yeah.
Is a whole nother beast. They made up, but Gabby's been posting pictures like this for a while. She looks amazing.
Yeah.
I also think that because she didn't have kids, she can look even more amazing-er because of that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, kudos to her.
And then I saw Kourtney Kardashian, who is like kind of a vegan except for on vacation.
Yeah.
She just posted that picture of her on an Italian vacation with Eunice Benjamin.
Yeah.
She had the
but she had
the
her
peach
kids
emoji there.
Yeah, she had her kids when she was younger.
Yeah.
She eats well. She has a chef. She works out on a regular basis. As far as I know, she doesn't work out super crazy. But again, it's just more of like, as you know, it's more of like what you eat. If you eat, on a minimalist type lifestyle, meaning that like you just eat the basics, like potatoes or whatever, or just super healthy, and you might dabble in sugar once in a while, and then you maintain that with the workout, and then you drink your water, like you're good.
Yeah, that's what she said. Her philosophy is that she eats really well when she's here. She's pretty much vegan when she's here, but she goes to a different country.
Right.
She's gonna enjoy the food and enjoy the local fare. Yeah.
And she seems pretty zen.
Yeah.
She seems very like how I see her on the show. She seems pretty zen, which is even more, like we referenced in the beginning of the show, is even more important than anything else.
Yeah.
Because you can eat healthy and you can be doing the workouts, and if you're super stressed, this is coming from experience, like that weight or whatever your goal is not going to come off.
Yeah.
So that's the most important part. Like if you can stop eating the candy, and you might get the workouts in once in a while, but you can do meditation or yoga or something where you can bring your stress level down consistently.
Yeah.
This can make a difference.
And that just leads you to be more mindful, and you're probably more mindful about your choices, whether that's exercise, working out, and your food choices. So it just probably leads you to thinking a little bit more mindfully about those. Well, great talking with you. Glad to be back. We'll be back again next week.
Are we?
Yes, we are back again next week. Hopefully with like a mindfulness guest. I think that should be our next guest would be great to talk about meditation and mindfulness.
We can get somebody.
So yeah, you dig into your TMZ contacts. So let's even get Kourtney here. Yeah, she seems like a good.
Why not?
Yeah,
Kourtney,
why not?
what's up?
So you guys stay tuned, keep listening. Again, I'm your host Shaka Smith. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Shaka Strong.
My name is TK Trinidad. You can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. You can also see me on TMZ Talking Ish. Also have a lot of shows on AfterBuzz and BHL. So a lot of wrestling shows. So if you're into wrestling, you can check all that out. I think that's a new show is coming out. You're gonna like this one.
Right.
Stay tuned for that for sure.
Oh, I want to hear. We'll see you guys next week.
Ciao.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Black Hollywood Live, redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.